Hi-de-ho, this is Tony with the Jeep Talk Show, and just like you, I'm listening to the 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast with Nikki G.
Episode 107. Hidden amongst the Subarus. There was pumpkin spice. So much pumpkin spice. What kind of music does Godzilla like to listen to? Anything that'll help him stomp his feet. Yeah, they're just getting lamer and lamer. Hello and welcome to the 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast. I'm your host, Nikki G. I'm here to inform, entertain, and delight your ear holes with all things off-road for the next 10 minutes or so. Why 10 minutes? That's about how long I have until my fish sticks are done. And I'm not lying. I really have fish sticks in the oven. I love me a good fish stick. This is a portion of the show where I give you all my boilerplate mumbo jumbo where you can listen to the show, how you can contact us and everything. But I don't have to do it now thanks to AI. So take it away, my enslaved AI intern who work for less than migrants. Yeah, that's a bad political joke. Maybe I should scratch that, but I'm not.
You're listening to the 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast, the podcast for the off-roader with a short attention span.
You can follow the 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, but never on TikTok. You can listen to the 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast on whatever the hell you're listening to it on now, including Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, Spotify, Odyssey, Podbay, Podchaser, Pocket Cast, iHeartRadio, and on YouTube.
Got something to say? We would love to hear from you. Just contact the 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast at 10minuteoffroad@gmail.com. That's 10minuteoffroad@gmail.com. Or leave a comment on our YouTube channel.
All right, welcome to the show. Tonight I want to talk about All-Wheel Drive Fest 2024. Last year I attended All-Wheel Drive Fest. A friend of mine, Camping Randy. If you have a Honda and would like to customize it, Camping Randy is the guy to go. He sells and installs. I'm not really sure what he does. He does something with modifications of vehicles, mainly Honda Ridgelines. He has a Honda Ridgeline, and I think the Honda Pilot is also considered Honda Ridgeline. I guess it's the same generation thing. Who knows? Him and his crew customize vehicles, mainly for off-road purposes. And he also sells some campers and stuff, but check out his store, campingrandy.com. That'll tell you everything you need to know. But every year he does this thing called All-Wheel Drive Fest. And he opens it up to about 50 vehicles, sells tickets. Last year I went, had a blast, broke my Jeep. This year I went, had a blast. Didn't break, well, I won't say I didn't break anything. I had a few malfunctions, which I'll talk about later. But went on a trail ride with Subarus and Honda Ridgelines. And I got to tell you, what a hoot. Of course, there wasn't any heavy rock crawling, and everybody kind of poked fun at me for having a Jeep, saying I kind of cheated a little bit. But, they accepted me amongst their own, and we had a good time. So I arrived on a Friday and picked out a campsite. It had a nice private campground with a shower and bath, or shower and a toilet for men and women. And I got to tell you, it was kind of pleasant to have that, although I didn't really use the shower or the bathroom too much. Either way, from where I camped, it was kind of a distance to walk to the bathhouse, so I kind of did it the primitive camping way, and I'm not going to go into too many details, but I did what I did. Still had a good time. Saturday morning, we got up, had breakfast, hit the trails, had a great time. We did some, I'd say, bunny trails, some light vehicles. Came back, had lunch, hit the trails again. We hit some more difficult trails with some more built-up all-wheel drive vehicles, which I was impressed. They did better than I thought they could do. And we head back to camp, and we had some fun and activities. There was a RTI ramp, which was only, I think, 20 inches tall, which was pretty good for Subarus and the likes of them. It was competitive for them. I didn't go up it, but I know I can go higher than 20 inches, so I didn't want to show off. Had a raffle, gave away lots of good prizes. I was shocked I figured it'd be chintzy stuff. Yeah, there was some good stuff to win at the raffle, which I didn't really win anything at the raffle. Constellation raffle we had, because they had all the main prizes, and if your number didn't get picked, they put you in a big box and they just picked numbers out. And I won a keychain and a bottle of hot sauce and some fireproof matches, which, I was happy to get anything. After the raffle, we had a 10 millimeter hide and seek contest, I guess. He had a big bucket full of sockets. Everybody stuck their hand in there, and whoever pulled out the 10 millimeter socket won a socket set. Oh, God, I can't remember the brand. I want to say Tecton, quarter-inch drive. So it was nice socket sets. After the 10 millimeter socket hunt, I guess you'd call it, we had the athletic competition where we had a strut toss. We'll see who could throw the strut the furthest. And we had, and he had a men's and a women's thing. And there was nobody there that was identifying as a woman or a man or whatever. It was just, if you had a thingy, you were in one group. If you didn't, you were in another group. Now that was fun through the strut. After the strut toss, we had a skid plate throw where he had a big ass skid plate and you had to throw it. And whoever threw it the furthest won. And that was a lot of fun to see the different ways people would, different techniques they use to throw a skid plate. Then after the skid plate throw, we had a control arm boomerang, which control arm on a Jeep is just a straight piece of metal with two holes at the end. On a Subaru or a Honda, it's shaped more like a boomerang. And so we see who could honk the control arm the furthest, and prizes were given out then. And for the kids, he had a rubber chicken toss instead of throwing a control arm. Although some of the kids did try to throw the struts and stuff, and it was fun watching them try to throw things. Hindsight, it probably wasn't good for their backs and shoulders and stuff, but kids bounce back easy. After all the fun activities, we had dinner, wound down, and then we had a trunk or treat. Yeah, 2 of them. One for the kids with candy and one for the adults. And they had, some of the adults were giving out beer. One guy had 13 bottles of bourbon and had us tasting and let you sample and different kinds of bourbons. I don't drink, so I didn't partake in that. Everybody did. But it was nice. It was very nice of them to have. Good time was had by all. Slept like a baby Saturday night. When I hit the cot, I was wiped out, tired. Didn't get up until, I'd say, about 8 or 9-ish in the morning, Sunday morning. Packed up, said my goodbyes, and left. Had a great time. A few of the statistics from the All-Wheel Drive Fest. There was 50 vehicles. Last year, he posted a rundown of who was bringing what. This year, he didn't do that. But from what I saw, it was probably 25% Honda Ridgelines and Honda Pilots. Probably about 25-30% Subarus. And then the rest of it was just a bunch of mix of others. There was an H3 Hummer, a Ford Explorer, Chevy Colorado, a Bronco Sport, 2 XJs, a Wrangler. I think that's about it. But, nobody said my Jeep is better, my vehicle's better than your vehicle. Though they did poke fun of us for having live axle 4-wheel drives a little bit. And we let them know we were there to help them out if they got stuck. Didn't have to tow anybody out. We had a few stuck vehicles. Now, one we were able to push out. 2 had to be winched out, but they were winched out by the, I think it was a Ridgeline that was in front of them, or maybe it was the Colorado. Can't remember, but it worked out great. And the one vehicle got stuck because of bad line choices, and I won't say bad spotting, because anybody spotting is, is trying to help. But he kind of didn't see clearly. I guess I'm trying to think of a polite way to say that he spotted this guy into a ditch or into a rut, and he got stuck. It's a learning curve, I guess. Winched him out, no problem. Breakdowns. We had a few breakdowns. 2 on the Cherokee, my Cherokee. I come back, and I can't say a breakdown because it was broke before I went to All-Wheel Drive Fest. A couple of weeks before I went there, I thought I smelled gas in my vehicle. My brother smelt it, and I told him he was crazy, and then I smelt it. And then we come back from the morning trail ride, and I smell gas again. I said, man, if I got a gas leak, I better find it. I don't want to catch fire in the woods and burn the whole forest down, let alone any vehicles with me. So investigated, found a pinhole in my fuel line. It was no problem. I carry 3 feet of fuel hose. Replaced the hose, back up and running within 15 minutes. Going through the trails, my vehicle started to run a little warm. My cooling fan quit working. I found a broken wire when I got home. So it really, I had a few malfunctions, but nothing too bad. Subaru blew out a sway bar link, and one Subaru blew out an axle. I don't know how. I wasn't there for that one, but he was out on the trail all day while they went to the auto parts store and fetched a new axle. And rumor has it he blew out 2 axles. They repaired the axle, then before he can get on the main road, he blew out another one. All right, so I've rambled on long enough about All-Wheel Drive Fest. Look them up on Facebook. It's AWD Fest 2004 or campingrandy.com. If you're in the area, plan to go, man. The tickets were $40, I think, $35, $45, somewhere around there. You got a t-shirt, paid for the camping area, and it also covered your day pass to Uwharrie, which I didn't need because I got I usually buy the yearly pass. I'm going to stop buying the yearly pass, though, and that's going to be a podcast for another day. But if you want a good time, go to All-Wheel Drive Fest. Even if you have a 4x4, it is fun watching these people really push these vehicles. And they're not really made for what they're doing, but they go through it like troopers. All right, so I'm going to shut up now. Until next time, this is Nikki G saying, wheel what you got and be happy.